My wife keeps losing her temper and often physically attacks me. I'm scared to leave, as I may not see my kids again. I've lost contact with friends and family and have no one to turn to. It's just getting too much.
Domestic violence can happen to men too. Talk it over. For help and support, call the Men's Advice Line on 0808 801 0327 or visit mensadviceline.org.uk. The Men's Advice Line is open Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and is free from landlines and most mobile phones.
Hello everybody, it's Lizzie here again, and we're just going to do a little bit of a manicure, a little nail tutorial for you. For me during lockdown, fortunately I have very little to worry about apart from things like my nails. Been doing a lot of DIY, a lot of gardening, things like that, and so my nails have ended up being pretty wrecked. I mean, okay, they have looked worse, but they look pretty terrible. They're normally a lot longer than this. They do grow okay actually, to be fair, but I normally keep my gels on or I keep them polished. I find they break really easily without them. So I've done one hand to give you an idea, and I've just gone for a nudie pebble kind of colour with a little bit of a shimmery glittery ombre. That's a really easy nail art technique I'd like to show you. So easy just to get that little bit of shimmer, and actually glitter on the very tips of your nails helps to strengthen them up. They're less likely to break. It stays on a little bit longer, so I chose to do mine for that reason, so I don't have to do them very often. So that's the after. There's our before. Right, so products you're going to need, or things you're going to need, is a cuticle pusher or an orange stick or something to push back your cuticles, cuticle trimmer if you have one, something like that, nail files, obviously, one's enough, three's great, whatever you want to do, nail file, your base coat, your colour, and your top coat and your nail polishes, a little bit of cuticle oil, I'm using that one at the minute, and some hand cream. That's pretty much it. Nail polish remover. We want a little bit of nail polish remover to remove any oils on the surface of the skin, and I like to use a little water spray which I mix a tiny bit of natural essential oil in with, just to soften down my cuticles before I start. Or if you've got a cuticle remover, it's just that mine's run out, if you've got a cuticle remover, do use that, they're brilliant. Okay, let's get started. So hopefully you can see what I'm doing. So I've washed my hands thoroughly and I've soaked them in some warm water. And actually, I mean, now that we're close up, you can see what an absolute mess they are, because I'm a real picker and I get very dry all around my cuticles. They're terrible. I've not looked after them the last couple of weeks. So I've soaked them in some warm water. I like to add a little bit of oil to that water so it softens up my cuticles. And then I've got just a water spray, which I sometimes add a bit of oil to that as well, actually. Lavender oil is rather nice. Give it a little spray so this is not dry, because we're going to push back the cuticles first of all. So I've got a proper cuticle pusher here, which looks like that. But if you haven't got one of those, quite often we have in some nail kits, you may have got an orange stick, which is just like a little wooden stick that's kind of got a beveled end to it. Failing that, you could very gently use quite a soft nail file to push this back, but really it's just a case of getting rid of all the cuticles and the dead skin right at the top, and mine are pretty awful. So I've either got no cuticle where I've been picking, or I've got tons of it. So we give them a good old push back, all of them first of all, and then we can trim off any excess, any hangnails, any bits that might be in the way. Right, so now that I've pushed back all my cuticles and I've got little bits I now want to snip away, I'm going to take my cuticle clippers, which look like this, and trim. If you don't have these, don't panic, you can skip this step at home, obviously. I get a bit obsessive about cuticle trimming, and I think that's probably not very healthy either. But for me, all these little bits, these little hangnails, they really do ruin the look of your manicure. And actually, in terms of keeping your your nails really healthy, getting rid of those and then using plenty of cuticle oil every night if you can, morning if you can as well. It really makes a difference in the strength and the health of your actual natural nail. Mine don't look all that great at the minute. I must say I have roughed them up and done all sorts and put extensions on and taken them off and all kinds of things the last few weeks, and they're not particularly looking their best. But once we've done this and I get some polish on and I leave them alone for a couple of weeks, then they should be looking much more healthy. Okay, got rid of almost all the little dry bits at the edges that will get in our way there. So having done that, then we just want to go ahead and we are going to want to go ahead now and take away any oiliness left behind now on our nails before we paint them, so that our nail polish really does stick to the nail and will last for us. So I'm just going to wipe over with a lint-free wipe, but again a cotton pad is fine if you don't have lint-free wipes. I feel like I should have a word with the maker of these things. That's a lint-free wipe there. But whenever I'm doing a manicure, I always find after I've used these, there's still always the odd little fibre that gets stuck in places. So it's not lint-free at all, but they tend to be a little bit better than just your normal cotton pad. So I've just dehydrated the nail bed a little bit there with nail polish remover, or with acetone if you have it at home, or a nail prep wipe. There we go. Okay, so now that we've prepped our nails, we just want to shape them. Now I'm really not going to do much in the way of shaping these. I've given them a good old rough up because actually I shaped them a day or two ago because I think I broke one and I snagged another. But if you are shaping your nails, you want to come down the sides and round towards the centre, and the same on the other side. Bring it down and round towards the centre, and then just straight across the bottom, or you can curve the bottom depending on what you like, that's just your preference. So try to come from the outside into the centre, and the same the other side. Outside into the centre the whole way on them, and just repeat on all the nails. I just like to get rid of any bits that don't really match as much as I can. I'm always snagging them or breaking something and something doesn't match something else, so I tend to try and just get rid of those, any of those little bits on the sides. Any little corners that don't match the other side, that sort of thing. And come round towards the middle of the nail again. You get the idea. So repeat that all over. Just make sure they're the length you want, the shape you want. Try not to go back and forth. Try not to do too much of this scrubbing motion. And although it's nice and quick, it's not very good for your nails. So do try to just be careful about that. Okay, and then we're just going to take some nail polish remover and give them a really good wipe to remove any dustiness, any residue, any oils. Make sure you've got a really nice clean surface to work from. Right, so we're ready to start with our base coat. So base coat's really important to help your polish to lay nice and smooth. It also helps to keep your polish on a little bit longer. It certainly helps with staining. If you're using a darker colour or a bright red or anything like that, let's get the right angle here, then definitely get your base coat on. It really does make a difference to stopping it from staining the nail. So if you wiggle up towards the cuticle, but try not to touch completely, and then bring it down the centre, and then you should be able to just come around one side, around the other side, trying to avoid getting it on your skin as much as possible, and then just a little tip at the edge just to make sure that you've covered everywhere. See, I can see a bit of fluff from my non-fluffy, a bit of lint from my lint-free wipe. There it is. See if I can get it off. I think I got it. So base coat, repeat that on all of your nails. So just sit there and let that dry, get your hair dryer out, dry it off a bit quicker, that sort of thing. I'll give that a minute. Okay, so that seems like it's dried, it's not too sticky now. So I'm going in with my first coat. I would always do 2 coats of colour. Some colours need 3. In fact, this one, really, I think I did a third on this one, because it is quite, you often find that with pastel colours or colours which are that bit paler. They're going to need that little bit of extra. That more or less just looks like a bit of a shine. It's not giving me much colour yet. So yeah, 3 coats of this one would be the way to go. But if you're using something like a bright red or a nice dark berry kind of colour, or black or really dark grey or something, you probably just get away with 2 coats. I normally would only do 2 coats of most colours if I can help it. So that's dried off just enough for me to go in with the second coat now. So I'll speed through and do the second and then the third coat. I'll leave you to it for now and let you guys get on with doing that. I'm going to do mine quickly off camera. So the second coat is sort of dry, so I'm going to go and do that third coat now to make them match the other side, because as you can see, there we go, a little bit more to them when I put on the third coat with this colour. So I'm just going to start my third coat. My third coat. I'm just going to show you a little something I found which is amazing. It's a little correction pen, and I ordered this from eBay and it came with like a pack of 3, and then they have 2 or 3 of these little nibs, interchangeable. You can see that one's been used a few times now. Yeah, it's so inexpensive, but it's brilliant if you get a little bit of polish around the edges, you want to tidy it up. It's so easy to just go in with your pen and just go, no, take that off, get it off the skin. Yeah, really love it. I think it's really handy, and when they do start to get a bit tired, I find I can still dip mine in nail polish remover or acetone or something like that and use them for a little bit longer. Like I say, it's more a case of remembering to replace them because they're so inexpensive. I think they were less than £3, I want to say, something like that, something crazy cheap. Right, so I'm just going to let the third coat now dry off a little bit, and then I will come back and show you how to do a little bit of glitter ombre. So I've chosen quite a subtle glitter for this ombre effect, so it's quite see-through with just a little bit of a sheen in it. So I can quite easily just wash it on really and then sort it out afterwards. I only did 1 coat this time, obviously you could build it up, depends what look you want to go for. I was just keeping it quite nude. It's more for, as I said at the beginning, putting that bit of glitter on gives it a bit of extra strength, and my colour lasts a bit longer. And then I've got a brush which is especially designed for doing the ombre technique. It's got this kind of separated look to it. But again, if you've got any makeup brush, any lip brush, anything like that, anything smallish, you can blend with that. Just literally stipple and tap it. And that softens in where it starts. There we go, like magic. Get the good old corrector pen to get rid of any little bits of glitteriness around the edges as well. And that's it. And continue on all the other fingers doing exactly the same thing. Glitter seems pretty dry. I'm going to finally finish off with the top coat. And the top coat, please don't skip the top coat. I know a lot of people don't bother with all these things, but it makes such a difference to your polish lasting. It gives it a nice shine. Now there are loads of top coats out there that are really good quick dry as well. My two favourites, one is called Séché Vite, French for dry quick dry. So Séché Vite, and then the other one is Sally Hansen's Quick Dry Top Coat. I think it says, might say 60-second, I don't remember actually, I haven't got that one at the moment. Ran out of that, but that one's in a red bottle. Yeah, it's Sally Hansen Quick Dry anyway, you'll know it when you see it. It's the only one in a red bottle. And they really are brilliant. They make the nail polish go nice and hard quite quickly, I find, and they do dry your nails for you pretty quickly. And I like to quite often do my nails just before bed. Usually I'm actually sat in bed. If I'm using normal polish and not using gels, I'll sit in bed and do it, knowing I want to watch a film or something, and then just let them just sit and not move, let them dry. And usually by the next morning I'm okay. If I do it too late and I fall asleep, then I end up with those pillow marks or hair marks all in my nails. We don't want that, but yeah. You got to plan these things in. Nail maintenance is not something you can just do in 3 seconds, but I do, 9 times out of 10, I tend to use gel polish. That's what I do. I work in a salon, I do people's nails. Gel polish for me, it's just such a brilliant time saver if you want your nails to look decent. It really helps to strengthen them up as well. Mine grows so well when I've got my gel on. And gel will stay on for a good 2 weeks, maybe more. Doesn't chip, looks shiny and fabulous until you go and get them done again. Shiny, shiny top coat. And the top coat as well, I tend to find, whatever you're using, it blends in. Then if you've done an ombre, you don't sort of see that where you've been patting with your brush anymore. You just see a nice shine then. So again, I'm going to go around with my magic clear up tool because I'm not being the cleverest at the minute. I'm trying to negotiate my way around my camera and not knocking you guys all over the place in the process. So we'll just get rid of any little extra shiny bits that I don't want to see sat on my fingers whilst it's still wet. To be fair, actually, with regular polish you can do this while it's dry, but I'd rather do it now, and then if I over remove, I haven't then got to go back in and when I think I've finished my nails and redo that bit. So they are ready just to dry. That's pretty much it. Right, these seem completely dry now. I've left it a good while. I can actually touch them now and not worry. They don't smudge. So now I'm going to finish off with some cuticle oil. And again, this is something, keep it by your bedside. Whack it on before bed or in the morning. But cuticle oil, I do not practice what I preach. You should be doing this far more often, Lizzie. I'm just not. But especially with my skanky dry hands, good lord. A little bit of oil all the way around the cuticle there. I like to put loads on because I am so dry and dehydrated. Really massage that in now. You can only do this obviously once your nails are completely dry, or if you've done gel polish, which is dry straight away anyway. But if not, wait till the morning and put some on. Cuticle oil is brilliant, once or twice a day if you can. And then a nice dollop of hand cream. I'm just showing you this amount just to say that's about how much I would like to use. I like to use a good bit of hand cream and then just really, really rub that in. Let me show you me rubbing it in. They're done. They're shiny. I hope you find that useful. Here's the finished result. Looking much less locked down now, much more respectable. So yeah, keep going with your cuticle oil and with your hand cream. It does make such a huge difference. I promise you, I will start to practice what I preach. Thanks for joining us. Hope you found it really helpful. Thanks again for supporting such great charities. It really does help. Thank you so, so much for supporting. Hope to see you guys soon. Look after yourselves.